Welcome back. Today we're talking about why you need to make more money right now. I'm going to give you 5 reasons. You're probably thinking, okay, why should that be such a big deal? I don't want money to be my main focus. No, we don't want that to be what's the most important. But if you can be making more money, there are so many good things you can be doing with money. We need more good people making more money. When we're trying to think about the kind of person we want to be and having better character, it's easy to think, well, isn't that just selfish? It's easy to think that way. And I remember I used to think that way. I had poor person mentality. And what that meant was I used to think that way because I grew up with very, very little. We were pretty poor growing up. There were 13 kids in our family. We had so much fun. I didn't notice that we were poor. I used to think that because I was so proud of the way I grew up. We grew up with hardly anything. I didn't know we didn't have much, but we were very poor. There are 13 kids. We had the most fun time. I never thought much of it. I did know that we didn't have the same kinds of things that other kids at school had, but I didn't really get that we were so poor. But we lived the way that poor people live who have to work hard to be able to survive. So we had a massive garden. We each had a section of the garden that was probably as big as a normal person's garden, and that was the food we ate. And you had to take care of your section of the garden. We had to chop the wood for heat. We had to milk the cows so that we could have milk. We couldn't buy butter at the store. We had to make our own butter. On Saturdays when it was chore day, everybody had their designated chores. And I remember the person who was in charge of folding the clothes. They would have a mountain of clothes, and we had what we called a socks box. And the socks box was one of the jobs because it took a while to do all the socks for everybody for the week. We would grind our own wheat to make our own healthy bread. I remember thinking that people who bought margarine at the store were so lucky, they must be so rich because we had homemade butter. And that wasn't as cool. And so I remember we didn't have a blender. So I remember we would take a canning jar. We would wait till the cream rose to the top of the milk. We'd scoop it off and put it in the jar. And if that was your job on Saturday, you would walk around the house shaking the jar because it was so boring. So you shook the jar until it became butter. And so I remember walking around the house visiting the person who had to fold the clothes, visiting the person who's cleaning the bathroom, and just trying to not be too crazy bored. And so I learned so many powerful lessons from growing up that way. It was so easy for me to work hard. I am driven. It is no problem for me to accomplish things, to create a plan, to figure out a strategy for what I want to do. And so deep down, I had this feeling that there was something wrong with people who had a lot of money. Like it wasn't as good. And people who grew up with a lot of money, it's not as good. And so it's interesting. I probably made my boys' life way harder because by the time we were doing well, our kids were getting older, and I wanted them to have those lessons. I didn't want it to be that they didn't get that opportunity. So we would create opportunities for them to learn these hard work techniques and these skills and these attitudes about working hard for what you earn. So I used to think that way until I discovered a different perspective. Now, don't worry, I am not going to go into this whole thing about how money is so important. Money is not the most important thing, but money is important, and it can actually do so much good for so many people around the world. So let's dive into this, and I'm going to give you 5 different reasons why it is so important that you start making more money now. If you've been waiting, if you have this attitude of a lack of abundance, so I'm going to give you 5 different reasons why this is so important for you to start doing this now. We need you in the marketplace. So I don't care what's stopping you. If you're feeling lazy, if you're feeling like, no, I can do it later, if you're feeling like you don't deserve that kind of wealth, I don't care what it is. It's time to get over that mindset because we need you. Number 1, we need charity and philanthropy. When you have more, you can give more. It's that simple. There is joy that comes from being able to help other people. Now, the trick is when you have a lot, especially if you haven't had a lot in the past, it's easy to want to just give everything to everyone and solve their problems. But what happens as you have more and more, you end up becoming someone who is in a position to make a decision about who you help because you can't help everyone. And it really grows your character because you don't want to judge, but you do end up needing to decide, okay, is this something that's going to help? If I just give them this solution or solve their problem with money, is it going to help them? Or when all is said and done, is it going to hurt? And yes, this is something that people will say, well, it's not my position to judge. Well, I beg to differ, and let me tell you why. This is exactly what Jesus did. He made judgments about what someone needed to go through so that they could learn what they would need to learn, so that they could become their happiest, best self. So as we try to live a higher law, I don't care if you believe in Jesus or not, he was a good man. And if you are trying to transcend into someone who is better, then I'll just tell you, the more money you have, the more money you make, the more you will need to make those kinds of decisions. And you want to do it with the right heart, with a loving and a caring heart. And it's hard. It's a very difficult stewardship. And I know many of you are thinking, yeah, I'd like to try that stewardship, even though it's hard. But I'm telling you, you grow and you learn through the process. You become more when you have more, unless you just let it defeat you. I've heard it said before, and I believe this is absolutely true, that having more money is like throwing gasoline on your faults and your strengths. If you're already kind of a jerk and you're rude and unkind to people, you're just going to be more unkind. If you're somebody who's kind and loving and caring, you're going to be more caring. If you are someone who enables other people, you're going to be more enabling. So you better start working on yourself, because I can tell you, you will achieve whatever you want to achieve. I want you to think about people who have already had a lot. Elon Musk, he's a billionaire. He has donated millions and millions to causes like education, healthcare, climate change. I don't care if you like them. I don't care if you agree with them. But because they have a lot, they're able to help a lot. The second thing is economic growth. Every dollar you earn contributes to the broader economy. Whether you're spending money, investing money, saving money, I don't care what you're doing. You are circulating money and driving economic growth. This is essential because economic growth leads to job creation. It leads to technological advancements. It leads to an overall improved standard of living for everyone around the globe. This globe is becoming smaller and smaller the more technologically advanced we become. You help when you create more income. The third thing is personal development. When you're aspiring to earn more, it encourages you to hone your skills, to learn new things. It forces you to push boundaries that you have not pushed through before. And it's hard. And it forces you to face things about yourself that you didn't want to see. As you grow and you have more employees and all your employees are getting tired of the way you treat them, all of a sudden you have to face yourself and go, you know what? I'm not a very good boss. I need to figure out how to be kinder, or how to help them see my vision without just acting like they're the workhorses. You have to figure these things out. And these personal gains will spill over into our communities. You inspire and you encourage other people to strive for their own growth. And it's almost like you give them permission to feel like it's okay, that they want to succeed more. They want to achieve more. They want to try for more. The fourth reason that you need to be making more money now is financial freedom. If you are earning more, it means you are less likely to be living paycheck to paycheck. There's less stress. When you have financial freedom, it not only reduces your stress, it increases happiness. Not because you have money, but because you have less stress. It also provides you the means to do the things you love, like traveling, pursuing hobbies, spending time with people that you love. It can allow you to take a lower paying job that you're passionate about. I'll tell you something that we get to do. My husband and I right now are on a mission serving in Armenia. And we're able to do this because we are financially free. We're full-time living here, helping the people, finding ways that we can serve and give. And it's because we created financial freedom. The fifth reason is generational wealth. You earning more allows you to create generational wealth. The fifth reason is generational wealth. When you earn more, it allows you to create generational wealth. If you handle it wisely, it can be a powerful, powerful thing for your family. This wealth can offer better opportunities for your children, for your grandchildren, education opportunities, serving opportunities, and it allows you to have quality education, access to resources that can help them lead successful and fulfilling lives. The Marriott family has been making money for a very long time, and they've increased their wealth until they are some of the wealthiest people in the world. And guess what their children spend their time doing? And guess what they spend their time doing? They spend their time on boards, at universities, at hospitals, different organizations where they can help. Well, they can find ways to use their money to help people in a way that gives a hand up and not a handout. It is a powerful thing to see. If you get excited about making more money just because you want to have more money, then yeah, that's a problem. But making more money isn't just about amassing wealth for your personal gain. It has far-reaching effects that benefit not just you. It changes your life and your growth, but it changes your community. It changes the world at large. I hope that you will embrace the idea of making more money and do it for the right reasons. And the right reasons can include, I would like to make more money. What do you want to do with it? Don't shy away from it and create a positive impact $1 at a time. Because I don't want you to just think different. I want you to be different.